What is up, guys? Welcome back to Mount Mograph. As usual, my name is Matt. Nothing has changed, and in today's video, we are doing something crazy. We are making Minecraft Steve from the Minecraft game in After Effects with no third-party plugins, and he's gonna be 3D. So yeah, it definitely is gonna be it's a little difficult. Well, no, it's not difficult. You just got to do it right. But I'll show you, I swear. No third-party plugins. He's all shape layers. I'll show you actually before we even go into it. I made controllers for everything. So check this out. It's a little blurry, but I mean, he's all rigged up. I can move his body. But yeah, totally all in After Effects internally. I don't know. I was kind of happy with the result. Like, this is pretty crazy. Um, it's going to take a little bit of work, guys, but if you stick through it, I will give you a gold star, and I am not even kidding. I have a gold star ready to go just for you if you can get through this video. It's definitely a little bit harder, but I think it's cool. And it's actually not that hard. It's just kind of like I said, you just gotta stay a little focused, and you'll get through it. It doesn't take too long, but we gotta do it right. So I'm gonna do my best to explain it as we go. But I mean, at the very least, it's like a pat on the back. Kudos to you. Hell yeah! Like, it's awesome. So basically, all you're gonna need is this little cutout I found. It was like for a paper craft kind of thing online. I'll put the link below the video, so just download that before we even start. And we'll get into it. It's actually kind of cool, and I feel like, you know, you can even make your own characters. So it's pretty sweet. Just different. You know, I'm trying to do stuff a little different, a little unique here at Mount Mograph. So I hope you guys like it. And without any other talking, for the intro, let's get into it. So open After Effects. Let's create a new composition. Command N on your keyboard. Whatever the background is, we're not going to worry about it. All right, so basically what we're going to be doing is creating layers. So we're going to be creating solid layers for each of the sides of his head. Now, I know that sounds freaking crazy, but it'll make sense. Like, once we do it once, we're only going to have to do it 4 times, actually, to create his whole thing, and it'll be cool. So let's do Command Y on our keyboard, and we're going to get our, that's going to create a new solid, and so I'm actually just going to call this front. But so now we got to think about the sizes. I wrote this down just so I can walk you guys through it, just like the size of different parts, just because it's easier than trying to remember and getting stuff wrong. So the width and height is going to be 200, and we're going to be making his head first. So as you can see, this is going to be Steve's head. So what we're going to do is create a 3D layer with that and duplicate it. So Command D on your keyboard. I'm going to rename this layer back. Okay, so now, since we know his dimensions are 200 by 200, and we're working in 3D layers, I can literally go to the position and just press 200, and that's going to put it back in space 200 pixels or points or whatever. I can actually go into my side view, and as you can see, it's now actually spaced 200 apart. So now I will duplicate the back layer, Command D. Also, guys, I'll put another link to the bottom, but for this video, it is almost essential that you have this move anchor point script, which is awesome. I use it for everything, and man, this is what makes this effect possible. Otherwise, it would be super hard. So anyway, what we're going to do is duplicate that back layer, and I'm going to call this left. So now I'm going to click my left anchor point, and as you can see, my anchor point jumps over to the actual left of my my side, and then I'm going to press R on my keyboard to bring up my rotation, and I'm going to rotate this 90 degrees, and there we go. I'm actually going to change the color on this, so do Shift Command Y. You don't have to do that, but just to visualize it, I'm just going to change the colors a little bit. So now the cool thing is we can just duplicate this left layer, call it right, press P on your keyboard to bring up position, and we need to go over. So all we're going to do is on the X properties, just do plus 200. There we go. It's now on our other side. So already this is a kind of cool effect. At the very least, you'll learn how to make a cube, which I guess is cool. But why not make an entire character? Because we can. So let's duplicate our right layer. Command D on your keyboard. We're going to name this top. And now on your top layer, click on your move anchor point tool, click the top, and our anchor point is going to jump to the top. Press R on your keyboard to bring up your rotation properties. Whoopsie, wrong one. And we are going to, let me just find the right one. Sometimes it takes a second. Rotate this 90 degrees. So that's not bad. I don't know how possible this 3D character would be with any other kind of character other than a Minecraft one, because it's cubes. You know, it would start to get kind of difficult. But anyway, let's duplicate our top layer. Command D and type bottom, and we're going to have the bottom layer. So as you can see, this is how we're going to go about creating our entire character. It only gets hard when you start not making cubes and have to actually like think about just like positioning and stuff, but I'll do my best to walk you guys through it. And remember, I got a gold star coming at you if you can finish this video. So let's put our y-axis of our top layer down 200. So we're just going to do plus 200, jumps down to the bottom of our cube. So don't do this step, but I'm going to show you just how this all is going to end up working. So then you'll make your layers all a child of your null, and then if I rotate my null, we will have a 3D cube. So that stuff was not necessary. I just want to show you guys that this is not like a BS video. Like we're for real gonna do this. All right, so now that we got our layers, we need to pre-comp them so we can add our Steve layer to it. So actually do Command I on your keyboard to bring up your import properties and just import or drag in your Steve texture, whatever this guy was, this thing. Yeah, just bring that into your After Effects right now. So click a layer and do Shift Command C on your keyboard, and you're going to want to make sure you're going to say leave all attributes in comp 1 or whatever this is called. If you say move all attributes, it's going to pretty much size that new composition to whatever your main composition is sized at, and also take away your 3D layer. So just make sure you're on leave all attributes and just press OK. And then basically we're going to do that to all the layers. So just do go through all the layers, and it's pretty quick. Just pre-compose them all, and make sure you have leave all attributes selected, as you can see. All right, so now that we have those pre-composed, what we're going to do is just click into one of the layers. So just double click, and as you can see, it's sized perfectly. And we're now going to just drag. This is a difficult kind of video to wrap your head around at first, but come on, guys, we got it. So let's drag our Steve texture into our layer, and we're just going to, let's see, find where his head is. Okay, that is good to me. And I'm just going to, let's see, so we're just going to size him up. And you don't need to make this, we're just going to size it up. I don't know how perfect this is going to be, but, you know, you just got to make it look decent. All right, so now just go back into your main comp. I'm actually going to call this comp something else. I'm going to call this Steve because that's awesome. All right, so now that we got our bottom layer. Oh, wait, crap. Did I do the bottom layer? Oh, sorry, that was the bottom layer we just did. So actually select the bottom of this dude. And just for reference, I would have this little picture open just so you can see where you have to go for certain parts of this. All right, so now we did our bottom. Let's do our top. So just actually what we'll do is copy, since we already have it scaled up properly for this, just copy your Steve, Command C, and go into your top comp, press Command V, and then we just need the top. So make sure you're naming stuff, otherwise it's going to be very difficult. That's our top layer. Go back into Steve, double click into your right layer, Command V. So this is going to be hit the right side. So there we go. Go into your left side, double click that, Command V one more time. It is repetitive, but it's a cool process, and like if you can get through this, man, like it's awesome. So as you can see, it's coming together. Let's just go and create our back of his head, which was way over here. That looks good. And then we're gonna go and double click into our front one, and there his face is. Great. Hey Steve, how's it going? So there we go. That looks pretty sweet, right? This is in After Effects, like it's kind of unbelievable. Basically I did this just to kind of like challenge myself, I guess. Like this would be kind of easy to make in Cinema 4D, but for anybody who's like, yeah, I want to do that, it looks sweet. Like I don't know how many other people have done this. So let's create a new null. You can either right click and go to new and create a null like that, or do Shift Alt or Shift Option Command Y and just create a new null. And what we're going to do is center the anchor point, and before you make it a 3D layer, I would just center it in the middle of your composition. So as you can see, it's kind of like a laser pointer from Predator on his head, which is great. So let's call this head controller. Okay, and so we're going to want his controller to not be in the middle of his head. This is just like a starting point for us, but on the bottom, kind of where his neck is. So how we're going to do this is make it a 3D layer, and you got to think. So this whole size is 200, and he's in the dead middle. So what we're going to have to do is move our position. Sometimes you just have to guess. Let's see. So that's going to be plus 100. Cool. And actually, let's do, is this right? Yes. Okay, so actually do plus 50 more. So you actually should have done plus 150, and you'll see why. So now that we have that there, let's set our anchor point up at the top and rotate this 90 degrees. So it's actually going to be on the bottom. Let's see which one you have to change. So that's going to be 90 degrees. Just let it happen, and then select your head controller one more time and just now click that middle anchor point. So now it's actually kind of hard to tell, but I'll try to show you guys. You're going to select all your comps and just make them children. Actually, what we can do that might be smarter is grab all your comps for your head and do Shift Command C and just call this one Steve Head. Okay, so now that we have a Steve head, let's make this 3D. So just click your 3D layer, and we should be good to go. So now just grab your Steve head and make it a child of your head controller here. And now if I was to rotate my head controller, Steve, whoa, that actually didn't work. Sorry, what did I do wrong here? Oh, I see what I did. Actually, well, don't put them all into a comp together. What you're going to want to do is select them all and just pick whip them to the head controller. And this way it'll work. I forgot you can't put that in. But now you can see I can rotate his head pretty well. Actually, one more thing we're going to want to change is just unselect those. It's a learning process for me too. It's kind of a hard thing to do. I had to do some thinking before I could actually do this. So I'm going to just zoom in, and we are going to actually have to move our position back another 100. I only moved it back 50. I had forgotten that you want it in the middle of your composition. So I had only moved it back 50 before. We want to move it back 100 so it's in the dead middle of his head. So when he like turns his head, it's going to make sense. And now make it all these comps a child of the head controller. So now it should work perfectly. There we go. Much better. And pretty sweet. So that is literally how we're going to go about creating all his body parts. And it shouldn't take too much longer now that we've covered the basics. So just hang in there and we got it. So what we're actually going to do just to keep things nice and clean is grab all your comps and just click this little icon here, and it's called shy is what it does. So when you click that, nothing happens. But when you click this icon up here, it's going to hide all the layers for us. Like they're still in the composition. We can still see them, but they're just out of the way. So I guess that's nice, and it keeps your layer panel nice and clean. But we can actually hide these because we don't want our view to be too cluttered, and then I'm going to shy them. So we now have nothing on our screen, but that is actually good because we need to go and create his body next. I'm not going to save this. So let's see. I hope you guys are still in there. This is kind of a fun and crazy video. So let's do Command Y to create a new shape layer, and we're going to make his torso. So his torso is going to be 250 by 350. And there we go. Let's see. So we're going to call this front. Let's make this a 3D layer. Duplicate it. Call this back. So we're going to only move this back 100 points because he's not like I looked at some pictures online. I've never played the game, but his head is like double the size of his body width. So I just picked the number 100. You know, I was going to make it half the size, which seems to make sense to me. So now let's create another layer. This is going to be our left side. Command Y. And the width of this is going to be 100. And the height is good at 350. So let's do Shift Command Y to just change the color so we can kind of see what we're changing. It doesn't have to be drastically different. Let's move this over now. I believe, make it a 3D layer, sorry. And let's make this, whoopsie, that's the wrong way. I believe you have to move it over 75 pixels to the left or right. And then just put your move anchor point over on the left side. Rotate this 90 degrees. So actually negative 90 degrees. Boom. And I'm going to call this left. Let's duplicate left and name this right. And go into your position properties. We're going to be moving this, what was this width? 250. So we're going to be moving this 250 points to the right. There we go. So that's all set up. Let's create the top. So the top is going to be Command Y one more time. The width is going to be 250 and the height is going to be 100. So now we have, this is going to be like the top portion, and then we'll also be able to duplicate this for the bottom. So what we're going to do is press P on your keyboard, make this into a 3D object, and we're going to have to move this, I believe it should be 150 points up or down. So let's do plus 150. Did that work? I don't think that did. Let's actually put this on the bottom of our, I think it's 150 if we have it here. So put your anchor point at the bottom of your layer with this tool. And let's go into our Y properties and do plus 150. Let's see if that works. Now is it plus 100? How many? It's, yeah, see, this is where it starts to get crazy, where you like lose track of your numbers. We'll figure it out in just a second. So this is actually going to be, all right, I'm going to put this back in the middle. Sorry about that, guys. And I'm going to do plus I'm going to do plus 125. And did that work? That did work. Awesome. So the number is 125. So plus 125. And now we're going to move our anchor point to the bottom of this layer just by clicking the bottom here. And now we're going to be able to rotate this. So press R to bring up your rotate properties. And it's going to be your X properties. And we're going to rotate this 270 degrees. Nice. Man, that was a sketchy spot right there. Why do I keep trying to save this? This is going to be called bottom. Let's duplicate the bottom and call this top. We're going to press P on our keyboard to bring up our properties. And we're going to do minus, what was the height? 350. And that's going to place it at the top of our object. So there we go. We have our torso. Man, okay, I'm just going to freaking save this thing. I keep doing Command S, and that's annoying to bring up. So let's close our comps we did for our head, just to keep our timeline nice and clean. And now we're going to do the same process of doing Shift Command C to pre-compose the layer, make sure it's leave all attributes, press enter, and just do this for all your new layers. So it doesn't take too long. It's just something to get used to, but it's good to learn. So let's go into our top layer first. So I should be able to do Command V if I haven't pasted anything else, and bring in my Steve. And now I just need to find the top. What does the top of him look like? So the top of his torso, we're looking for a brown spot with some turquoise stuff. There it is. That's what we're looking for. So you might have to scale it up or down depending on what picture you found online for this. You could also like paint this in yourself, but I just didn't want to because this is already probably pretty annoying for a lot of people. But I thought, why not? It was all I could think of. So I'm going to go into my bottom layer, and let's see. I'm going to double click my hand to center my composition, make it a little easier to see what I'm changing. And the bottom of him is, what does the bottom of him look like? Bottom of him, we're looking for a deep turquoise color. See, isn't this fun? It's like a search for Steve or something. So this is his right side. See how it's important to name it? So if you ever forget what you're in, you can just look and be like, oh, it's the right side is what I'm looking for. So the right side is going to be right here. That was easy. The left side should be just as easy. Just drag it over this way. There his left side is. Let's go into his back side. Double click, Command V, and to bring that up. Go into his front side, and all right, there it is. So there is Steve. Now let's go and create our null to control his body. So we'll do Shift, Option, Command Y, or just go and create a new null by like right-clicking New and pick a null. So we're going to center our anchor point and position it in the middle of our composition. I'm going to call this body controller. Okay, and now where do we need to put this one? Bring up your position properties, make this a 3D layer now. And we're going to move this back 50 because remember the width of him is 100 and we want it to be in the center. So this was an easy one to do. And now we're going to select our children, all our comps of the body, and just pick whip them to our body controller. So now we'll be able to rotate Steve. Like how cool is that? As you can see, this process isn't that bad. Like once you do it once or twice, you're like, man, I got this. So now let's grab our comp layers for his body, and we're just going to Shy Guy them, get them out of the way, so we're only seeing our body controller and head controller. Oh, actually, let me get rid of those eyes so we don't see it. And we're going to now be doing the same exact thing for the arm. The good thing about the arm is we can just duplicate the layer, like all the layers for it, and we'll also do that for the leg. So we only have to do this 2 more times, and it should be getting better. Remember, I got that gold star. So let's create another one, and we're going to be making this width of 100 and height of 300, and this is going to be for his arm. So let's call this front one more time. Make this a 3D layer. Duplicate that. I'm going to call this back. And like usual, press P on your keyboard to bring up your position properties. Type in 100 to move it back 100 pixels. Duplicate your back layer. I'm going to call this layer left. Press R on your keyboard to bring up your rotation properties. Put your anchor point to the left side of your left shape layer, and we're going to rotate this. How far do I have to go? So I'm going to do -270 on the Y rotation. No, I'm not. I typed that wrong. -270 on the Y rotation. I'm going to duplicate this and call this right. Press P on your keyboard to bring up your position properties. We're moving it over to the right 100 points. So do +100. There, it's over there. Perfect. It's really not that bad. Like I did it once and it was kind of hard to wrap my head around, but this is really pretty easy now. So now we're going to creating the top and the bottom, which is going to be 100 pixels by 100 pixels. Press OK. Let's call this one top. How far do we have to move this up? Make this a 3D layer, and we're going to be moving this up. Looks like it's going to be to 380. Let me just see. That's probably wrong. Okay, so don't do what I just did. I just have to figure out our numbers real quick. I'm going to make this a different color. It's kind of hard to see. And that is Shift Command Y for anyone who did not remember and he wants to do the same thing. So that's going to go to 440. So we're going to go up 100 degrees. Put your anchor point at the top of your shape layer. We're going to rotate it. And we're going to be rotating it on the X rotation, 90 degrees. Whoopsie. So duplicate that, and that is already called top. Duplicate the top. We're going to make sure to name this bottom, and we're going to press P on our keyboard to bring up our position properties. We're going to do +300 to move it to the bottom of our layer, and there we go. Our arm is pretty much built, and now we're just going to do our composing. We're going to do Shift Command C. Make sure it's on leave all attributes, press OK, and just do this to all the corresponding layers. It's pretty quick. And there we go. So that's all built. Let's close our comps from the body layers. So just close those, clear your timeline out a little bit. Go into your bottom layer, press Command V on your keyboard, and you might have to scale this down. Let's see what we're looking for. We are looking for a brown claw thing, this section right there. So let's find it. It looks like we're over on the body, and we need to find... Alright, I'm completely lost. Anybody else get lost with that? Oh, there it is. I have found it. Alright, so I'm just going to copy that. Now go into my top layer, Command V, and we are just going up to the top of his arm. Is that the top of his arm? There it is, the lighter teal. Cool. Let's go into our right layer, Command V. Nice, found it. That was quick. Command V, let's find the left side. Yeah, as you can see, this is a really fun puzzle to play. Play it with your friends. I'm sure they'll have a lot of fun. Probably have actually no fun, but you know, like I said, this is kind of a different kind of video, so I'm having fun doing it. It was kind of a challenge to figure out, so it was cool. There we go. That's his front of the arm. Nice, we've got an arm. So let's go and create our null. Shift Option Command Y. I'm gonna put this in the middle. Center it in our composition. We're gonna have to move this, make it a 3D layer. We are going to be moving this up. It's gonna be -125, I think, which is actually totally incorrect. It's going to be, well, basically I'm moving it to 390 pixels, it looks like. Dang, wait, this is bad. See, it's actually harder than I think it is. Does that make sense? No, it doesn't. So I'm actually going to put my anchor point at the bottom of our null and just drag it up, and it's going to go to 390 is what it is. Press R on your keyboard to bring up your rotation properties. Let's rotate it on the x-axis until it is at -90 degrees. I'm going to put my anchor point over on the left side of it, and I'm going to call this left arm. Or actually, this would be our right arm. So name this right arm controller. Okay. Select all your comps for this and parent them to our right arm controller. And let's see if this is working. It looks like it's going pretty well for us. Not too shabby. So now we are just going to move on to the leg, and then we will duplicate these layers, and we should be all good. So let's just hide our eyes real quick. Actually, you know what we can do is... No, we do have to make that again. Never mind. Sorry, I had an idea and it totally wouldn't work. So grab your comps and just click your shy, and that'll hide them. So we now only have our controllers in our window. We're going to be doing this process one more time, and then we will be down to rigging. And actually, this is going way quicker than I expected. First time I did it, it took me like an hour to get this all together. So yeah, hope you guys like it. So let's create this leg real quick. Command Y. We're going to make it 100 by 300. We're going to make this a 3D layer. Call this layer front. Duplicate the layer. Call this back. Press P on your keyboard, and we're going to move it back 100 pixels. So it's now behind there. Duplicate back and call this left. Press R on your keyboard to bring up your rotation properties. Move your anchor point to the left, and let's rotate this on the Y axis. How far do we have to go? So -270, just like we did before. Duplicate your left one, call it right. Press P on your keyboard to bring up your position. We're going to be moving this over 100, so do +100 on the x-axis, and that's going to get all set up for us. As you can see, this process really just repeats itself over and over and over until you go crazy. So yeah, it's not that bad. So let's create another layer, 100 by 100. press enter, and this is going to become our top. So just name this layer top. Press P on your keyboard to bring up your position properties. Make that a 3D layer. We're going to be moving this up. So put the anchor point at the bottom of our layer. We're going to be moving this up to 340, I believe was the number. That was incorrect. It might be 440. 390, that was the number. See, I forgot. But you'll get the hang of it. Like, definitely write this down. You know, write down on a piece of paper what your numbers are if you're making a different character. It's pretty helpful. So let's rotate this 90 degrees on the x-axis. Did I do this right? Yeah, so we're going to be going -90. There we go. And now duplicate this. And that was the last time we have to duplicate that. So I'm going to call that bottom. Press P to bring up my position properties. And we're going to be moving this 300 pixels down. Whoopsie, I did it the wrong way. So you're going to do plus 300 because everything is opposite in After Effects. And there we go. We have our leg. So let's pre-compose our layers for the last time. Shift Command C. Leave all attributes in this composition. And we're going to just go and do this for all of them real quick. And we are almost there, guys. Hang in there. It's not that bad, I promise. All right, so let's go into our bottom layer and find our leg. So let's do a little navigation. So I am looking for this nice brownish gray color. There it is. Not bad. I'm just gonna copy that so I'm already by the leg. Oh, let's clear our comps like we did the other times to keep our timeline nice and clean. Awesome. Let's go into our top, and we're just going to drag up. We're looking for the top of his leg, which is this light blue. There we go. Go into your right layer, press Command V, and there is the right layer. Do I need the gray? I don't know what I need. That's what I need. Okay. We need to go into the left layer, press Command V. There is the left layer. Let's go into our back layer. We are looking for back layer, which is this color, I guess. Cool. And now the front layer. Command V, and that would be this layer. Boom. So let's create a new null. Shift Option Command Y on your keyboard. We're going to center our anchor point, center the null in our composition. And we are going to be putting our anchor point at the bottom, and then we're going to be pressing, I'm going to name this actually right leg. Press P to bring up your position properties and make this null a 3D layer. And we're going to be putting this up to 390, I believe was the number. I was right. Check that out. We are now going to rotate this 270 degrees. Nope. -90 degrees. Dang, I almost had it. And then I'm just going to center my anchor point. So now it's going to be in the middle of our layer. So now grab your compositions for this, the pre-comps, and just make them children of your right leg controller. And then we are going to, what are we going to do now? Sorry, now I got to think. All right, so we got all that set up. Now what we're going to do is unshie all our layers. And just select them all, and we're going to make them all visible, and then we are going to unclick all our layers and grab all the layers. So all the how would we do this? All right, so grab all the layers minus your controllers, so the null objects. So it's going to be right leg. Actually, crap, I'm sorry guys, I'm trying to think this out as I'm talking. So let's start positioning our Steve in the right areas. So let's grab our head controller, which is down here, and we are going to okay. So, sorry, I'm losing it. You gotta stay focused. So grab your head controller, and we're gonna be moving the position up until he's at the top, which would be, what would this have to be? We need to move him up. This is kind of one of those things where you gotta guess. I'm gonna go into my side view just to see a little better. And we got to move him up. I'm going to say it's 370, but I might have to zoom in. Okay. Yeah, is it 370? I think it actually might be up a little bit more. It looks like it's 360 is the number. And then I'm actually going to move this forward a little bit as well. So just to 50. So he's in the middle of his body. But as you can see, this is totally looking cool. We got his arm sticking out right now that we're going to fix. So let's grab his right leg controller. Press B to bring up the position properties. And we're going to have to move this down a little bit. And we're going to have to move this back. So put it to 100, I think is the number. And we have to just move it over. I'm just going to guess, like you guys can spend a little bit more time on this if you'd like. But I just want to show you guys how awesome this is. And we're just about there, as you can see. So let's grab our right arm controller. Press P to bring up your position. Just move this over to his right side. So that'd be, I guess, 1090. Okay. All right, so now unshie your layers, and we are going to be duplicating some crap. How fun does that sound? Basically, let's grab his right leg and all the comps under it, and just press Command D to duplicate this. And now just click and drag while they're highlighted. And we are going to name this this duplicated right leg left leg. And then I'm just going to press P on my keyboard to bring up my position properties and drag this over. There we go. That should be fine. And now we're going to do this also for his, what would this be? His right arm. So grab the right arm controller and all the comps associated with it. Command D to duplicate it and just drag this all together. And it doesn't matter where. And name this left arm controller, or left arm, whatever you want to call it. And press P to bring up your position properties and drag this over. Yeah, he's not perfect. His shoulders are a little low, but you know, it's easy changes as you can see. So that's actually the 365. Cool. The one thing we're gonna have to do for his right or his left arm controller is just click your anchor point over to the other side, so it's like up against his shoulder. And there we go, guys. We now I'll show you quick expression controls just to get. Ooh, what did I just open? Just to get him all rigged up. So let's see. What do we have to do? We need to. We're gonna shy all our layers. So just click shy, except for your controllers. And I never shied those, so that was an easy change. And now what we're gonna do is take our body control, all of our controllers, since we have all of our comps associated with each of the layers, and we're gonna just make them children of the body controller because we want him to pivot around his body. So now if I rotate his body, oh yeah, I totally put those legs in funny spots. Let me just fix that real quick. Right leg needs to actually go over. Yeah, I was looking at it in a funny view, but I mean, it's an easy change. We're just gonna fix this. There, that looks better for now, whatever. But yeah, so if I rotate him, oh yeah, totally put his legs in funny spots. I almost had it right. I tried. So how does this have to be? So this actually has to be a 0. And this has to be a 0. No, it doesn't. What number does this have to be at? 25? I don't know. You guys can play around with it, but basically this is the process. So cool. I'm gonna just pretend he's perfect. He's what the hell? Yeah, he's a little awkward looking. Let's see. Now I really want to fix this. This is just annoying. Man, it must be at 0. That's got to be the number. Maybe he's just not, what the heck? Come on, Steve. Fix yourself. You're not tall enough? I don't know what this guy needs right now. I have no idea. What do you need, Steve? Alright, well, whatever. I'll just put this up a little bit. and this one up a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't look so stupid. Looks a little better. And now let's create our controllers for this dude, which is really easy. So just select all your layers and press R to bring up your rotation properties of, let's do the body controller first. So press R for your rotation properties. Go into your effects and presets, and we're going to go down into our, our expression controls and grab a, what do we want? A slider control will probably work fine. And I'm just going to name this X, do Command D, I'm going to name this Y, Command D, I'm going to copy and name that Z. And then I'm going to, holding Option, click the stopwatch on your X, pick whip up to your slider X. Good. Let's do the same thing to slider Y, and then pick whip to slider Z. And there we go. So that is basically how you will be able to control Steve and all his layers. And you just do that for all the layers to get crazy Steve movement. And then you can also add keyframes to this if you're like, you click there and then you want to make him spin. And that's how you create the animation. So anyway, yeah, I hope you guys liked this video. This was kind of hard to figure out, I guess. I don't know. Maybe call me stupid, but I had to do some thinking before I made this. So I hope you guys liked it. It was definitely harder. Like I promised, here is your gold star. Thank you for watching this video. And I'd appreciate it if you want to like this video, or if you totally hated this and this was long and boring. I hope you didn't watch it first, but I feel bad and I'm sorry. But yeah, hope you guys liked it. And yeah, get your learn on, guys. Peace out. I will see you later. Bye.